morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Creating Your Career with Marla J. Alberti. Yay! As you know, of course, I am super excited for episode 19. Yes, this is episode 19, and I am super excited about my speaker today, which is Mrs. Jan Spence. Please go ahead and say hello, everybody, Jan.
Hey, everyone. Nice to meet you virtually.
So, Jan, as you guys know, I love to talk about how we met because I like to meet different people in different areas. So, me and Jan are a member of the ATD, which is the Association of Talent Development. Putting in plug for them is basically the association for trainers, instructional designers, anything having to do with training and development. That is the association or industry you want to be in. Okay, so me and her met. We're members here of the local chapter here in Jacksonville, and we met. We've talked. We've gone to a few of the conferences. So that's how we got to talking, got to know each other. So we're going to dive right in. Of course, you guys know I love to read the bio. So I'm going to read her bio, and then we're going to see how Jan is creating her career. Okay, our speaker today is a true pioneer. I love that. This Georgia native and her family introduced peach jello to the world through a national commercial in 1970s. That is cool. She began her sales career at the age of 10 selling donuts for summer camp. Sounds like me. After selling vacuum cleaners, she went on a consult with national accounts such as Walmart, Pillsbury, and Frito-Lay. Jan fulfilled one of her lifelong dreams by playing women's professional full tackle football with the Jacksonville Dixie Blues. She's going to talk about that a little bit, I'm sure. In her inaugural year, the team went to the first ever Women's World Bowl in San Diego, California. How cool is that? Through speaking, training, and coaching, this TEDx speaker inspires individuals to dare to be different so that together we can transform the world. She has my heart. So put your hands together and let's clap and let's get ready to welcome her number, which is number 52. That's her jersey. So yay! I love it. I love it. All right, Jan, I'm excited. So let's dive right in. Give us a little brief history about, how you got to where you are now.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to share my journey, and I'm just excited that Marla's given me this opportunity to encourage you on your career journey. So as she stated earlier, really started in sales. So that's where it started for me. When I was 10 years old, we were going to summer camp, so we were selling Krispy Kreme donuts. So my mom made a list for me, and she made a list of all the rich people, all the people that had money in the church that I should call to sell donuts to. And so I sat there at the kitchen table, and I had the old style telephone, and I'm dialing up numbers, and I would give my little spiel, and I would say, "Hi, this is Jan. I'm selling donuts for summer camp. We're raising money, and we're delivering them next Saturday. Would you like to buy a box?" And so I would get yes, no, yes. So my mother heard me, and she walked into the kitchen table and she said, "Try this. Don't ask them if they would like to buy a box. Ask them how many boxes they would like." So I changed that term, the way that I was asking the question, and then I was getting 2 boxes, 4 boxes, 1 boxes, no, 2 boxes, 4 boxes, and I was absolutely hooked. The adrenaline rush, I can remember of being a 10-year-old and realizing that I could have influence over people and their response just by the way that I ask a question and the words that I used. I got hooked from a very young age just on the psychology of sales and just the fact that what we say can influence people. So that's where I started my career. I began to study sales. I sold door-to-door vacuum cleaners when I was 18, and then went on, expanded that after college, and actually was doing national consulting and national sales across the country. After that, I had always had the entrepreneurial bug, Marla. So I had looked for that magical idea, what's going to be that thing that I could create or invent. Never quite came up with a few ideas, but nothing ever really fleshed out. But then once I was married, my husband and I looked at a franchise, and we actually bought a franchise. And we had a 5-year plan to buy it, build it, and sell it. And we actually did that in 4 years. We had a 300% return on our investments. Then I was able to consult with people who had the same franchise, help them grow their business, just putting in great operational practices, helping them really have effective hiring techniques and engagement techniques to keep really good staff. And then again, exit strategy, having the end in mind. And so from there, after we sold that and I consulted with them, I finally did my dream job that I had always wanted to do as a little girl, and that was to become a motivational speaker. And so I hung my shingle and began to work very, very hard to get out there in the field and speak. And I've been growing my business ever since for about 6 years now. So that's a little bit about my journey.
Wow. So that, as you guys know, it's a talk show, and you guys know I love to talk. I can ask 30,000 questions right there about what you just said because I take notes, but I'm just going to hone in on a couple things. Wow, that's a lot. So you were in sales. You saw how you can influence people. You had a franchise, you built it and sold it and consulted, and you became a motivational speaker. So let's package all that together. So what are you doing now to move, taking all that experience you had, what are you doing now to move forward with everything? That's really cool. I really want to ask more about the franchise, but there's so much because I don't want to miss too much. So go ahead.
I gave you a lot of information to go off of there, Marla. So right now what I do, my main focus is keynote presentations. So I go to conferences, associations, chapter events like ATD, and I present the keynote theme. With a keynote speech, it's typically an idea that inspires people that there's a better way. They're here and they want to be here. So there's a gap between where they are and where they want to be. And then I give them some action items. I then often will train from that. People will say, oh my goodness, my people need this. Will you come for an hour and teach my people? And what we know is that it takes reinforcement. It takes a little bit more of a deeper dive to really implement that change, not just a 1 hour speech. So right. I end up doing day trainings, half day trainings, multiple day trainings. And quite often, as I talk to them about what's going on with their team, there's lots of layers underneath. And so we actually take a step back and we look at how they're operating in general. And often that leads to a consulting opportunity. And then I'm with them 6 months, 6 years, just to really help them implement that overall organizational change, to shift the culture and fix some of the situations, some of the challenges that they have. And from that, I became the author and wrote a book on employee engagement. That's a little bit about where I am now.
And guys, thank you for saying that. So just to break down a little bit of what she said. So in the training world, you know, and you'll agree with this, Jan, in the training world, the organization says, oh, we need training. There's a problem. We need training. So what Jan has to do now, they hear her speak, which is how it works. And they say, oh, we have a problem. Come fix it. A lot of times, training isn't always a problem, right? So what we do in the training world is called a training needs analysis, a TNA. So Jan goes in there and does a TNA to make sure, let's see if training is really the problem here. Because like you just said, there's layers that you have to find. So talk a little bit about that. How did you start to so you say you started doing your motivational speaking. So how did you start to begin to build your training business and speaking business?
So before and I didn't mention this as part of my entire journey because no one has 6 hours to listen to my career path. But I actually, once we sold the franchise and I began consulting for the franchisor and the individual franchisees, I went to a career coach and really was looking for, what's my next path? What's my journey? As a result of exploration, a number of sessions with my career coach, we uncovered that I have a passion and a gift to deliver information in an engaging way, in a way that people can understand, in a way that people can implement right away. And my area of expertise was sales. I've been selling donuts since I was 10. So I started with a local company doing sales training for them. And at that point, my husband was laid off actually 2 years in a row. And we really took that as that was our sign to finally do our own thing. And that's when we looked at franchises and we found the one that we thought was best for us. And we moved into that. So that's where I really started my training. And then I utilized those skills that I had learned with sales training to assist with other companies and create my own content just based on the knowledge that I had learned running our business and working with other companies and what worked for them. So that's really how I got on the path to start the training. Did that answer your question? I think I circled around a little bit there.
No. This is what I love about my show. My show is different. I want you to be authentic. So yes, I love what you said. Thank you so much for putting a plug in there for us career coaches like myself, because career coaching in general is very much needed because you needed that guidance. So I thank you so much for saying that you went to a career coach and that career coach helped you spring off to where you are now. Now you're traveling the world speaking, you're speaking at conferences, you're doing training, guys. This is why I do this talk show, guys. I want you guys to see that this can actually happen. Okay?
Yes.
Get out there, put yourself out there, get a career coach. Be the first to admit to yourself you don't know it all, right? So tell the world or tell the audience, what are some interest points? What are some things that the person out there, Susie or Mary or John or Bob, will need to start their path on motivational speaking? Because a lot of people, I talk to quite a few people who say that their dream is to be a motivational speaker. Their dream is to be an entrepreneur in that particular sector, that field, or that industry. So how do you do that? Because I did read in your bio that you're a member of the Speakers Association. So talk about that. What are some steps to get to the motivational speaker thing? Because there's really no degree, right? So tell us all about it.
You nailed it, Marla. I wish there was a step 1, step 2, step 3.
Right.
The challenge is there's step 5, 27, 32,
Yep.
47. And so a lot of people enter into the professional speaking world from different angles. So a couple of things I'll reflect. Just back to, I can't say enough about the coaching. So 2 angles. One, it was inside me to begin with. So my heart knew what I really wanted to do, but it took someone from the outside looking in and asking the right questions to pull that out of me.
Yes.
That is similar to speaking. So many times I'm speaking at a conference and people will approach me and they'll say, oh, I would love to be a speaker one day. How do I start? It's the same thing. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a message to share, but we often don't even see what that story is inside of us. So going to a speaking coach or a career coach or someone who can help look from the outside and pull from within what that story is. So many times people want to start speaking, but they're just not even sure what they want to speak about. Or they have that story. They know what that story is, a story of overcoming adversity, of meeting a great challenge, of doing something no one's ever done before, walking on the moon, but yet they don't know how to package that so that it's a sellable product, because speaking is my product, that associations, companies, organizations will say, that's a message that we need. We believe that if we hear this story, we'll get a return on our investment and we'll have impact with the people that will hear it. So I would say, to round that out, really the way to get started is, thank you for the plug for the National Speakers Association, NSA, has an academy. So the academy is where someone can plug in, I believe it's 9 or 10 months. They spend an intense Saturday and they're working on the content of their key story, and also the delivery, and also the business of speaking. And then that begins to package them. The second step is to speak. I love what consultant Alan Weiss said. He said, speakers speak, go speak. So join the Toastmasters Club, offer to share your story at your local Rotary or Kiwanis or the Pilots Club. So begin to start practicing every opportunity you get. And Marla, I'll also include that, and I believe you did this for ATD when I was our programs director, even if it is just doing announcements at a local chapter meeting for 5 minutes, and have that little story or practice that joke on the group. That 5 minutes of giving that board report or just introducing the speaker, that's practice to practice getting the nerves out, practice your speaking skills and being in front of people. So those are my first couple of tips. If you really want to go formal, the National Speakers Association has an academy. Seek out a coach who can help you develop your story and your message. And lastly, just go speak and start practicing.
Oh my God. I thank you so much, Jan. I love that. I love how you gave those steps. Let's rehash a little bit. So first you said, I love how you said that you knew you had it inside of you. That's something I tell my clients, and I have that in my bio as well for coaching. I like to dig and mine the gold out of you because I know it's gold in you. But I love how you said you knew it also too. So as a coach and as yourself, the coach can't want it more than you do. You have to want it. So I love how you said that you wanted it and you went out there and got it. And I love how you said Alan Weiss. He's a great author. I have a few of his books. I've actually read the one consulting, the one about consulting. I actually read that one. Very good, very good. I still subscribe to his email, so we'll put a link down there for that. But I love how you said that speakers speak. So take every opportunity to go speak. And yes, I've spoken a few times for ATD. Every year I try to do a workshop, or every year I do what we have the career SIGs. We do those. So I make sure I speak every year. Get out there, because a lot of people want to be a speaker, but they don't go out there and go speak. So first thing was she did a coach. Got a coach. Second thing was she goes out there and speaks. And I love how you said you read the book. You actually read books on speaking. You have to read books in your particular area or your topic. So I have to throw this question in there. What about when people come to you and say, well, I can't talk in front of people? Because you know what that is, right? You know speaking is the number one fear. They'd rather die before they speak. So what do you give? What advice do you give to the world, to the audience here, for those people who are scared to speak in public? Because they want to speak, but they're scared. So I'm sure you get that a lot.
So true. And I loved your analogy. I think it was Jerry Seinfeld who said the number one fear is speaking. People would rather die than speak. So he says, so basically at a funeral, you'd rather be the one in the coffin than the one giving the eulogy. So, great analogy. So I think it's critical that people overcome that fear if this is going to be your desire is to share. Little known fact is that many professional speakers are actually introverts. They're not just these, be on the stage, flashy, enthusiastic people. Many of them are introverts. However, it's going to be critical that someone who is going to do this as a profession hone that skill.
Right.
So I equate it to if you are a doctor and you don't like the sight of blood, but you're going to be a surgeon, there's a disconnect there. So
yes.
It's got to be something that you're comfortable with. You said you love authenticity. Marla, I get nervous every time I speak. Yeah. My hands are a little bit shaky. I've got the butterflies in my stomach. But I also have breathing exercises. I have a routine that I practice my very first words that are going to come out of my mouth. So that's secure. So there's no stumbling. There's no awkwardness. But I believe that little bit of nerves gives me an edge. It keeps me sharp. I don't ever want to be so comfortable that I just walk out there and take my surgery in a lackadaisical manner. So I always want to have that edge that I'm challenged to do my very best to connect with that audience, share my information, excuse me, and ultimately have them walk away with their lives being better and in some way have impacted their life or their career as a result. I think practice. Toastmasters is a fantastic organization that allows you to do 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute talks so that you're comfortable in a safe environment and you're able to present, and sometimes on the fly, very extemporaneously, but that practice actually will help you get over that nervousness. The only way to learn how to ride the bicycle is to get out there on there and do it. You can watch videos all day on how to ride it, but until you actually sit in the seat, grab hold of the handles, and start pedaling, baby, are you going to find out if it's right for you?
I love it. Thank you so much, Jan. Before we get to our fun question, I just want to say I love how you said get out there and do it. So we will definitely, guys, we will put links below for Alan. I got so many notes for Alan Weiss, the National Speakers Association, Toastmasters. We've talked about Toastmasters on here before. So guys, you got to get out there and do it. The only way my motto is that, well, I have a few mottos, but one of my mottos is the only way to get better at something is to do the something. So if you want to be a speaker, you got to go speak. If you want to be a writer, you have to write. If you want to be a cook, you have to cook. You can't say, I want to do something. Saying you want to do something is great, but until you do it, you're not really doing it, right? So once you start writing, you're now a writer. Once you start speaking, you're now a speaker. So you have to look at it that way. So I love how you framed everything, Jan. So here's the fun question. So I'll ask everyone, tell the world, what's something that we don't know about Jan? So we already know you play football. That's amazing right there. That is amazing.
My jersey here.
You're my shero. That is so amazing. I love that because football is a male dominated sport, and of course we're Jags fans. Go Jags! They're doing great, even though they're not, but they're doing great. We love it. So we love our Jags.
Eternal optimist, Marla. Eternal optimist.
Yes, we have to remember. We have to remember they did have. We can't get too excited. They had a couple of good years. Now we're like, oh, they got to be. We got to go to Super Bowl every year. We got to do it. You know how we are. But anyway, I went off on my tangent. Tell the world what's something that we don't know about Jan.
Well, you've heard some of my secrets. Yes, I played football. Can I share my book?
Yes, please do.
I brought a copy. Marla, I forget to do this so often, but it's called Cheer on Your Team 52, which happens to be my number. 52 tips to increase employee retention, engagement, and loyalty. So, and they can get it at my website or on Amazon. But just published it, so that was one of my life goals. And Marla's so right. If you're going to be a writer, go write. First published book, so very excited about that. That's one thing that's very new for me. And again, playing football, I share my story in there from my TEDx talk about the tryouts. You also know that we introduced peach jello to the world. Gosh, so I've kind of shared my secrets. I'm trying to think what else can I share that people don't know. Oh, here's what I joke about. I married a Canadian. I said I had to import because I couldn't find a good man in Florida, so I imported from Canada. So my husband's from Prince Edward Island, and we've been married for 18 and a half years. So,
wow,
and he's a great supporter. He's been a huge encourager. He's been my cheerleader through this journey as I've grown my practice. Wow,
which is so important. I'll just put this plug in. Who you choose in life determines where you go in life. So I am so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. And so, guys, we're going to put a link down below for all the areas and associations we said. And Jan's we're going to have a link below for her book. I love that. She's going to talk about, in her book, she talks about her tips and how to just be a cheerleader in your organization, which is something we still need. We still need that today. So I don't think that's going to ever go away because people have different personalities. So we have to mesh those together. So Jan's book's going to talk about that. Jan, how can the world or the audience get in contact with you if they need to?
So real easy, janspence.com. It's Jan, no E, and then it's Spence, SPENCE.com. Link to the book is there. My TEDx talk is there. My demo reel, ways to email me, phone number, smoke signals, Skype, all that fun stuff. They can get a hold of me. And I love to connect with people. I'm actually not sure this will probably air after the first of the year, but I actually am sending out a 1 minute, just 1 minute video tip that follows the book. So I've got 52 weeks in the year. Monday morning, it'll show up in your inbox, one quick 1 minute tip on how to be a cheerleader and practice cheerleadership in your organization, your family, your neighborhood, your community, and your world.
Oh, I love it, Jan. Thank you so much. Again, guys, we'll have all the links down below. Thank you so much, Jan, for sharing your world, your life, your entrepreneurship, your speaker, your author. You are a cheerleader to me. I love it. Thank you so much. And guys, we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Marla.
Thank you.